My name is Jack Lewnard. I'm a program director at the Department of Energy's ARPA-E agency. I'd like to discuss the possibilities for addressing mines and wells that are at the end of their life and consider how these assets can be repurposed for new uses. Coming up with new uses could save a lot of money, help the environment, and create new business opportunities. Let's start by looking at the challenge, or more optimistically, the opportunity. 150 years of fossil energy use has really benefited the United States, but it's also left us with a lot of legacy assets. There's about 10,000 coal mines which emit methane and also have acid mine drainage waters that can be harmful. There's somewhere between 1 to 4 million oil and gas wells, which also emit methane, represent a risk to the underground hydrocarbon formations, and could impact drinking water aquifers. Dealing with these legacy assets is expensive. Treating acid mine drainage goes on for decades. Plugging wells can cost $20,000 to $1 million. So what if we could repurpose these mines and wells and turn these liabilities into assets? Well, let's start by looking at what features they could offer. One attribute is that underground temperatures are relatively constant, starting around 17 C and increasing with depth. The U.S. spends a lot of money to warm and cool buildings and industrial processes, and so perhaps this underground temperature reservoir could be a feature that could be exploited. There's a number of reasons why these mines and wells could be valuable. One is their location, and the other is that they're already filled with water, very good heat transfer fluid. People have thought about this idea for some time. Going back to the 1990s, there was work to exploit low-grade heat from abandoned coal mines. And one of the features that was attractive at that time was the fact that with geothermal heating, the cost of the underground infrastructure is usually expensive. So with abandoned wells and mines, you could in principle get free or at least low-cost assets that are underground. It's interesting to see that there's been a number of recent projects, including one in the UK that's actually going into operation. And the Canadians have just reported a study that has tried to characterize the underground resources for geothermal heating and cooling purposes. So this is one feature that we could potentially exploit. But temperature is just one of the attributes for underground assets. Another one is that you have volume at depth. And volume and depth together is a formula for energy storage. And additionally, this is energy storage that avoids taking up a lot of land at the surface. This is not a new idea, just like geothermal. The Swedes converted a mine into natural gas liquid storage back in the 40s, and that was later converted to gas storage. Likewise, the Germans have converted a salt mine for gas storage and are now converting a coal mine for pumped hydro, using the mine as the lower reservoir, if you will. This idea is also taking hold in the United States, where Dominion is looking at perhaps using some Appalachian coal mines for pumped hydro. And of course, gas wells also can play in the same game. The volume is different, but you can use wells, and particularly multiple wells in a formation, to pressurize the underground formation for either water or gas, as in compressed air storage. So we've looked at a couple of features, but now let's see if we could even take it further by reimagining the downhole infrastructure. One of the attributes, in addition, that comes along with depth is that you get pressure. And in fact, wells, which might be, say, 300 to 3,000 meters in deep, have hydrostatic pressures in the order of 30 to 300 bars. And this high pressure allows you to enhance gas solubility, which in turn enhances gas-liquid mass transfer. The idea of using downhole assets for reactions, again, is not new. In the 1980s, the Vertec process proposed to use wells to generate the high pressure needed for sewage sludge wet oxidation. It's interesting to consider is other options where now you could not just take advantage of the depth and the temperature, but also the fact that there is methane present. There's been a lot of work recently on methane to biomass with methanotropes, and that biomass could be harvested as food, it can be used to make chemicals, or the biomass could be used to conversion into renewable energy. The fact that you have free methane at pressure and that you have very good gas-liquid mass transfer allows you to enhance the reactivity compared to what you would get at ambient conditions or at the surface. And again, you get the pressure and the feedstock for free. It's interesting to note that in South Africa, there was recently a study that showed methanotropes were quite active in a mine that was in an aquifer associated with a mine. It was at 1,300 meters of depth, where the temperature was in 35 to 37 degrees C range, and the pH was slightly on the basic side. So I'd like to leave you with some closing thoughts here. Old mines and wells cost a lot of money and took a lot of effort to create, but now they have gone from being assets to liabilities, and it could cost billions of dollars to remediate these. So let's take the adage that one person's trash is another person's treasure and ask the question, what are the attributes of mines and wells that we could exploit? And knowing that we get this infrastructure for free, how could we repurpose these for beneficial use? Of course, the devil's in the details, and that's where we need creative, out-of-the-box solutions. That's what ARPA-E's mission is to fund high-risk but high-impact projects. I suggest that you look at ARPA-E's Open 2021 solicitation. There's a number of videos, including this one, with creative areas for exploration, and there's further information at the website that's shown. In the meantime, I hope you think about this problem and what solutions you may be able to bring forward, because this is a critical area, not just for our economy, but also we have the opportunity to do something that could make a lot of money for a lot of people while saving the environment and saving the government a lot of costs here. Thanks for your thoughts. Appreciate your interest.